All right, so as we begin this new campaign, my quote unquote forever campaign, Chronicles of the Great Unknown, we have our starting characters here, and we are in Varesia, which I will share right now. And within Varesia, you are in a place called Sandpoint. And Sandpoint is right here. If you guys see that little circle I placed on the map there, everybody see that there?
Yep.
I do. I do.
And as far as history goes, I don't have a whole lot of history for this area. There is a lot of history. There was at one point a murderer who was going around basically lopping off people's heads and feet and leaving them nearby. You'll notice on the top left, or the northwestern side of the island, in the link that I gave you, there's a place called Chopper's Isle, the aptly named Chopper's Isle. That's just a brief bit of history. Obviously, there's a lot more history than that. The surrounding woods does make this a problematic area in terms of goblins. They often do attack, and it's pretty much a regular thing at this point. City guards and people who live here and people who live in the surrounding areas are very much on alert for goblins because they tend to not necessarily be troublesome in low numbers, but as soon as they start stacking their numbers and more of them come, it becomes increasingly hard to defend against their so-called raids and attacks on Sandpoint. So, that being said, you are starting off basically right before the big festive season. It's snowing in Sandpoint right now, which doesn't happen too often, but it is very sort of seasonal, and it's very making everybody very festive, and people have started decorating for the upcoming celebration a few weeks away. Let's see here. Is there an area in, outside, or around the town that your characters will be starting in? We'll start with you, Hertz.
Um, have a look.
And as a point, you might want to consider, if you are in town, having your hood up. This town generally doesn't take kindly to goblins, but also is very weary of kobolds and things of that nature as well. As a lot of people who kind of just quickly glance will often mistake the two for each other.
The curse of skin color.
The curse of skin color, exactly. At a glance, they see a hand, a green hand, or something like that, and you're, roughly the same height, or give or take. It's a very good chance someone might say something, and although they may not necessarily be aggressive towards a kobold, it's almost certain they won't be friendly. You certainly will have probably a great deal of trouble bartering in town and things of that nature.
I think I'll start near Undercliff Way.
Undercliff Way, right.
Just above the Red Dog Smithy.
Just give me a second here. Where is that? Which part of the map is that on? Which area? Which direction?
It's basically just south of the cathedral. Sandpoint Cathedral. You got Rising's Place, Red Dog Smithy, and just above Red Dog Smithy there's Undercliff Way.
Why do I not see this anywhere on the map? Am I looking at
It's
the wrong
not-
map?
Yeah. You were supposed to get the link out of Discord.
I did. I don't
Did
see
you?
it anywhere on here. Yes?
Under Cliffway, it's the bridge to the right,
What's wrong with me?
like upper part to the right,
Oh, what's it called?
under Cliffway, right by Rissa's place and Red Dog.
Okay, there we go. Under Cliff
I
Way.
still don't
Okay,
see it.
The
I
road.
see
It's the road
Red
into
Dog
town.
Smithy.
Yeah, it's it's the street. Under Cliff Way is the street. It's on the street
Oh.
name. If you zoom in a little bit.
If
Oh
you zoom in
my
above it.
God. Paul, really?
All right,
I'm
let's
sitting
go,
here looking like, where is he talking about?
So you're coming into town or leaving town, maybe?
Just coming into town.
Just coming into town. All right. So Hertz, when he first walks into town, coming across the bridge through Under Cliff Way, you notice a lot of people putting up decorations. Have you been in this area for long, or are you just passing through?
Just passing through.
So you have probably never seen this. Let's take a look if we could get a skill check, society skill check maybe, from Hertz.
Oh, I like those dice.
Yeah, a 19. You don't know what the festival is, but it does seem to be sort of very bright, colorful, a lot of reds, a lot of greens, a lot of metallic colors, a lot of like golds and silvers. And people are streaming banners around, posts, light posts. They're hanging up bulbs and things like that. You're not sure what the celebration is, but it's clear to you that some sort of celebration is either A, taking place, or B, coming up.
Something big's going to happen.
Are you just traveling through town, just kind of walking through and keeping an eye on things, or watching people and checking out what's happening?
Yeah, it was. Being in a big town is all new to me. Not used to the hustle and bustle, all the buildings.
Okay, so
Just ignore it.
Hertz is from a smaller area, perhaps more populated by kobold, or where exactly? Give me a little bit of your background, if you don't mind.
We're up out of town. I'm on in my pack of kobolds, and we were told to go forth and explore, and that's what I've been doing.
Okay, so
Walking, exploring.
okay, so you're kind of you're headed out and exploring, perhaps gathering information to bring back to your group of kobolds.
Yeah.
So is it safe to say that the group of kobolds, or the tribe of kobolds that you're a part of, are they kind of a more civilized group of kobolds, or are they kind of a bit more savage?
We're more civilized than savage.
A bit more civilized? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So Hertz is coming from relatively nearby tribe of kobolds, and you've been sent out to just kind of explore and bring back news of possible trade routes or possible shop locations that will deal with the tribe and things like that, by the sounds of it. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right.
Okay, cool. All right, so Rosa, you will be up next. Why don't you tell me roughly, or give me an idea of where you're at and what you're doing right now, and kind of how you got there, all of the same things.
where I'm at. I gotta find a place on the map. I wasn't prepared for this.
You are probably, obviously, I think you're the root thing going on. Oh,
Yeah?
I've got a crazy goblin here who just came into the room. Come here. I got a little one-eyed goblin with me here. Right. So are you from Sandpoint, or are you from somewhere outside of Sandpoint?
Oh,
This is what happens
have a
when you
real.
don't do your homework.
Yeah, I didn't really decide.
Well, that's fine. If you want to pass it along, maybe our half-orc Theric can pick up for now, and we can come back to you.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, Theric?
I'm down on Hertz. Going to, or just was at the Goblin squash table.
Okay, we're getting a
Dropping
lot
off.
of. I hate to do this in the mid-game. Can we get you to switch over to the browser? It is really bad again. It's going in and out.
Yep. I'll be back.
Yep, no problem. Get that switched up here. I think that'll probably be a little better. All right. All right. So while we are waiting for that. Let's see here. There you are. Welcome back.
Any better?
Yes. That's much better. All
Catch
right.
any of
Let's see here. Sorry, go ahead and you can continue. You were saying you were...
I am down at Goblin Squash Stable.
Goblin Squash Stable, right next to the Rusty Dragon. Are you? You must be there, sort of visiting with the horses.
I'm dropping off a horse.
You're dropping off a horse. Okay, very good. So you're
Yes.
returning a horse to the stables, I guess.
No, I'm bringing them a new horse that they've ordered from my family's ranch.
Ah, okay. So you're here, basically traveling on business. The stables have. Okay, very cool. So you have a horse that you were to deliver to the stables as a part of a request from Davarin Hosk, who runs this place here. Davarin receives the horse. He tells you that a payment has already been made. It's already been sent. You should be aware of that. Is that correct?
Yes, that is fine. Yep.
Okay, very good. Davarin thanks you for your family's business. He's incredibly grateful for the quality horses that your family breeds and supplies him with.
Very welcome. Happy to continue doing business.
Yes, he tells you that your horse's lineages have been stomping goblins for quite some time now.
Excellent. Customer's always right.
and he again thanks you and kind of goes back to tending to the horses, and telling the stable hands how to go about their business. But you're down in that general area. All right. And again,
God.
it's a very same situation. You see people decorating. You see people putting things up. However, you've been here before, so if you want to roll for your society check, and you can add a +5 modifier to it. That's in the bottom left. If you click the button and just hit 5, it'll add 5 onto your next roll. and then go into your skills. And
Society?
regular. And you're sure you're sure that you know the name of it, but it's just on the tip of your tongue and you cannot think of the name of it. You know it as a bit of an gift exchanging type thing, but you can't think of the name of it offhand. But you've seen it once or twice before delivering courses at this time of year. It's nothing you've ever been a part of or taken part in. But it is definitely sort of very visually. It's pleasant looking. Everything's shiny, gold and silver and things like that, which are typically kind of associated to your currency, which are copper, silver, and gold pieces. So it looks very nice. It stands out.
We'll observe.
Yeah. So we're hanging out down at the stables, dropping off, and Rosa, why don't you tell me a bit about where you are at and coming from, going to?
I'm not gonna be actually in Sandpoint because I want to be like right outside it, like in like the forest. Is that the forest here over
Yeah,
by like
there's a ton of
Turdock
forest.
River or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, all of this is like forest outside. All of these green circles.
Yeah, I
outside
don't
of
love
villages,
going
all
into
forest
town
area.
much, so I'm just like outside of town in the forest.
Okay, perfect. Which bridge
Down by like
would you say you're
by like
closer
Two
to?
Night Brewery. I'm down there.
Okay, the Two Night Brewery down by that entrance.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can see Two Night Brewery from probably where you're at,
Yeah,
and
sometimes
probably
I
like
like
the
to
Feathered
walk.
Serpent. And okay, cool. So you have a good view across the river. And have you been here before? Is this your first time here? Do you normally just hang around these woods?
Yeah, I live in these woods, so sometimes
live
I
in these
just like
woods.
to watch stuff that goes on.
Okay, just kind of curiosities, watching the town,
Yep.
and you are a Leshy, so
So I'm a rose.
right. So outside of here, you're more in your element outside of town. Probably safe to
Yes.
say. And like a rose here. Okay. So it's generally a little colder at this time of year. Probably not your favorite time of year.
No hardy roses can survive in the winter, though.
It's
And
true.
I'm a hardy rose.
Absolutely. And let's see here. Can I get I'll get a society check at +5 from you as well, because you've seen this happen for a few years. You've been watching this happen at this time of year. So that's a 25. Yeah, you know this as the Brightstar Festival. And during the Brightstar Festival, everybody in town exchanges inexpensive gifts, does a lot of decorating and drinking and eating, and it's generally a pretty festive time of year.
Super
Much
fun to
like
watch.
much like Christmas and the sort, among our culture. Um, Same sort of thing, very sort of bright, decorative. But there is no sort of person who delivers gifts. It's just sharing, right? And it's usually nothing expensive. It's very frowned upon to give anything too expensive, right? You would never receive jewelry. You know that you would never receive jewelry, right? Anytime you've ever seen people exchanging, it's always small trinkets, little pocket games, cup and ball, right? A nice scented candle, stuff like that, right? Nothing too crazy or extravagant. But the food and drink gets pretty crazy. So people really sort of kick their feet up at this time of year and like to relax, take vacations, things like that. So that's where we'll start. We've got the three of you in and around town, and we'll kick things off with, you see, guards. I will get a perception check from everybody to start, please. Rosa, being that you're outside of town, you're not hearing any whispering or sort of chattering, or most of what you're hearing is simply the river.
Yep.
That's mostly what you're hearing. It's nice, it's calm, it's serene. It's exactly how you generally like it. Hertz, you're kind of busy, just kind of, I assume, do you have a hood up?
Yeah.
Or do you walk in here just kind of not, just kind of going about your business? You have a hood up, okay. So you're kind of probably just peeking out around. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary. You're kind of in low-key explorer mode. And you're looking around. You're probably looking to see if there's any other kobolds or if there's many other races in this town to kind of give you an indicator that this would be a good place for, or might be a good place for your tribe to do business or trade or come as a whole, what have you, things of the sort. Theric, you are standing next to the Goblin Squash stables after leaving the building for your delivery, and you hear Davarin telling you that, or not telling you, but speaking to the stable hands about keep the horses at the ready. Nobody else hears this, but Theric, you hear him saying, keep the horses at the ready. Those stinking goblins are always kicking around somewhere, listening, watching. You can smell them as soon as they're within 10 feet of you, he says, or 20 feet. So keep your eyes open, and if you smell anything that smells like burnt trash and singed hair, you've probably got a goblin nearby. And that's what you hear. He doesn't say this directly to you. He's saying this to the stable hands. And he's telling them, like, you know, our horses are primary targets for these things. They hate. The goblins don't like horses. That would be more of like a check if you guys wanted to get more information about that. But you hear him say, these damn goblins, this is the first place they'll come if they come to the city, and they enjoy trying to trample our good times. As always, be on the ready is kind of what you get out of this, right? Him telling the stable hands to be ready. So, that being said, is there anything anybody would like to do in town? None of you have any sort of funding right now. You might have had a handful of copper that you would have been sent out with at this point. But you're probably not too far from your tribe, so they probably wouldn't have sent you out with too much right now. Just kind of go see what's out nearby, and we'll go from there. You, Rosa, you travel light anyway because you're just in the forest around where you stay, so
Yeah.
it's not like you've packed a whole bunch of things. Theric, you might have something a little more on you, probably a tent and a bedroll. You would have come down by horse, and you would have a a prepaid ticket for a boat ride back to where you live.
Okay.
They would have sent you with this when payment was exchanged. There would have been the exchanging of the tickets, so you're good to go. Anytime you want, you can hop on the boat down at the Sandpoint shipyard and head back to your home if you so choose. And Hertz is kind of wandering around the streets, keeping an eye on stuff. You get a few strange looks because of your size. What size are you? Are you small?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're definitely getting some strange looks, but nobody has said anything to you or tried to attack you or anything like that. But you are more sort of conscious of people looking at you because, as a kobold, you know that it's not necessarily going to be friendly everywhere that you go. So what is everybody up to right now? Do you have any sort of activities or anything you might be doing? Are you sticking around in town for the night, Theric?
I'd like to get myself like a beer
Okay, very good.
after the long ride.
Sure. So, right next door to Goblin Squash Stables is a place called the Rusty Dragon, which is run by Bethana Corwin. You're familiar. You've dropped stuff off here. You've stopped in next door before. So you're familiar enough that, assuming that's the place you'd like to go, there's also a brewery, the Two Night Brewery down around the corner that serves alcohol as well.
Yeah, I like the more. Can't think of the word I'm looking for, but it's more laid back here at the Rusty Dragon.
Yeah. It's and you know that there's usually good company here.
Yeah. Rusty Dragon.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, Bethana runs this place. Sorry, she's not the owner. The owner is Amiko Kaijutsu. But Bethana Corwin is always the one who's here, sort of serving and chatting and welcoming everybody in. So as you walk through the door, you see Bethana greets you, tells you come on in, tells you take a seat wherever you can find space. It's not too busy. There's quite a few open seats in here. Nothing too crazy. Most people are out decorating right now. It is sort of late afternoon, beginning to go into the evening.
Is there maybe a window seat so I can people watch outside?
Yeah,
When
absolutely.
they're decorating.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can you find yourself a seat at a nearby large window. You can see the Goblin Squash Stables as well as the nearby streets. You can see up Net Street and as well as along Mud Street here, which runs on one side of the. That's the way you're facing. You're facing north out the window.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and they say you'll be right with you, and they'll come get your order shortly here after they've taken care of it. They'll be with you shortly, basically. And Rosa, are you just hanging outside of town, watching? Is there anything that
Yeah.
interests you, or?
Well, it all interests me, but I usually don't have enough courage to like get too close to anything.
Okay.
I don't feel
Alright.
comfortable like in that environment, right? So I haven't been to towns maybe once or twice before.
Right. Okay. So, why don't you give me a perception, please? Off in the distance, you hear the snapping of branches. And you estimate that there's potentially 2, maybe 3 sets of feet headed in your general direction. In the nearby woods, probably somewhere within the 100 feet, maybe.
I'm gonna go to like.
You do hear it, though.
Okay, I'm gonna go to one of like my trusty hiding spots, like behind a tree or something, or like a log that fell.
Yeah, and your appearance alone gives you sort of a natural camouflage as well.
Exactly.
Are you viney, leafy,
And have a rose head.
and you have a rose on top. So, yeah, it looks like generally speaking, you're going to fit into this setting very well. You can give me a stealth check with a 5 bonus on it, 5 modifier plus 5. You're nice roll. A nat 20. That's our first one of the campaign.
Woo!
Yeah, so you are completely still. You when the wind blows, you mimic the trees. You're very much at one with the surrounding plants. And for a lack of a better description, you're invisible. Yeah. And you do this probably for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. You're swaying back and forth in the wind and just kind of mimicking the motion of the nearby trees and plants. And after about 15 minutes or so, it starts snowing. It's snowing relatively heavily. And as you sit there swaying back and forth, you start to hear a bit of crunching. Not like the snapping of twigs, but a bit of the snow and the colder grass crunching beneath what you identify as 2 sets of feet. After waiting about another 10 minutes or so, a goblin warrior, what you believe to be some sort of fighter, walks up and stands pretty much right next to you.
Hey.
Oh, you can close that out. I didn't mean to share that. That was the wrong thing, I think. This is what I meant to share. This. There you go. Close that out. Pay no mind to that, and do not metagame me.
You don't need any of the information on that page.
Yeah, exactly. See nothing. Look away. This is what you see walking by you, Rosa. You see 2 of these guys, and they're equipped with weapons, and they kind of squat down right next to you, and they literally just start talking about a plan to attack the village tonight.
Oh, great.
They're literally, it's almost like they just came right to you and told you everything. They're kind of squatted down. They're trying to be quiet. They're chatting with each other.
Be quiet. They're gonna hear us. They'll kill us. We need to get back and tell them. They're having festival now. You should tell them. Okay.
We go back, and then as he said, "Wait, we must eat first." And one of them pulls a piece of spoiled meat out of his pocket, starts gnawing on it, and trying to give it to the other one. And the other one doesn't want to spoiled meat. And they start arguing back and forth, slowly starting to walk away. They're like,
Yes, we'll come back later. We comes back later.
Do I have my leashy familiar? Because that's something I just get, right?
Yes,
Okay.
we didn't really
We didn't really
go
do
through
anything
that.
with that.
No, no, we didn't get
It's
you
a
your
little
familiar,
mushroom.
but yes, you do have a familiar.
Okay. It's a little mushroom.
Okay, so as you stood there, it just looked like a mushroom on a like a viney piece of flora.
But I kept
Sort of
looking at the mushroom, who is unnamed so far, to make sure like they didn't say anything or move or do anything, so they wouldn't catch
Right.
us.
Right. So yeah, you've sort of heard these two goblins talking about this plan to come back and attack the village later on this evening.
So I tell my little mushroom friend that we're gonna have to brave going into town to warn people.
Okay, and with that, we will take a quick break, take 5, and we'll continue on from there when we get back.
Okay.
All right, so Rosa was talking with her mushroom familiar Pip, and discussing that it's likely that they're probably going to have to go into town. Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah, unfortunately, warn them.
So you're heading in heading into town, and you are familiar with. You are a little bit familiar with the town. You know the area. You've heard whispers. You know what I mean, and you know that when there's goblins, you know that there's an actual place called Goblin Stomp. And you decide that that's probably the best place to go to tell them, to warn people about goblins. Right? You're not
Okay.
sure what it is. You just know you've seen the sign and you've heard people say Goblin Stomp, and you're like, whatever Goblin Stomp is, that's probably the best place to go give a warning about goblins coming.
Okay, and I know where it's at.
You know roughly where it's at. You might have to stop and ask some people. In which case, I will get a skills check. Let's do a diplomacy check. The first person, or the first group of people you see, they're like, "I'm sorry, I can't talk. I've got to finish up my shopping," and they're very rushed, and they just kind of go right by you. Can I get another one as you pass another small group of people who are hanging out? So this time you run into a group of people and you start kind of explaining to them. What do you tell them?
I don't want to tell them too much because I don't want to cause chaos.
Right.
So I
are
just
you
want to say,
asking-
like, I'm not too completely familiar with the town, so I need to know where, what's it called? Goblin Stomp?
That's
where
the
that's
only
at.
thing that you can think of offhand. You don't know
Yeah.
if it's a place or a person or
Okay.
what. You would be asking just about Goblin Stomp.
Yeah, if they've heard of Goblin Stomp.
Right. And they tell you, yeah, absolutely. And then they point you to the... So you come in through the southern bridge down by the
Yep.
Turn
Two-Night
to Rock
Brewery.
River. Yep. And the brewery, the Two-Night Brewery, exactly. And as soon as you walk across the bridge, you go past the first person, and basically they're like, yeah, it's right here. The second group of people you run into on Market Street, they're like, this is it right here. If you walk around the other side, they point you up River Street, down Mud Lane, and they tell you if you go back there and you ask for Bilivar or Darien Hosk, any of the Hosks, you can ask for the Hosks. they can help you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll be on my way. And then I start making my
And
way up there.
They wish you a happy Brightstar and see you on your way.
Thank you.
And so you get around and you see Daverin Hosk, who's clearly telling people and giving orders. It's clear to you immediately that this is a figure of authority or a manager or something of the sort.
Okay. Is he super tall?
He's probably a little taller than you. How tall are you?
I'm small. It said I was a small character.
You're physically
I'm
small?
probably-
Okay, so he's probably a good 4 or 5 feet taller than you. He stands about, well, no, I guess not that much taller. You'll probably be what, like 2 feet, 2.5 feet, 3 feet maybe at the most?
Maybe,
He's a little over 6 feet, so it'd be a little over 3 foot spread between you and him. So yes, by your standards, very tall.
Can I tap it? Can I reach his shoulder to tap on it?
No, you'd likely be sort of tugging.
Like at his shirt to pull? Okay, that's what I'm
tugging
going
at
to
the
do then.
shirt sort of thing.
Pull his shirt until he like pays attention to me.
And he jumps back and immediately puts his hand on his sword and looks at you. And he's like, "Oh, you're not a goblin."
Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you, but is there somewhere private we can talk?
He says, "Likewise, I apologize for jumping back like that. We don't see many of your folk here. But yes, come this way. Is it for business?"
Sure.
All right, well, follow me. And he takes you out back, and there's some horses feeding and stuff like that. And he was like, "So are you looking for a rental? Are you looking to buy?" And he starts pointing at his horses. "This one here is incredibly fast.
I don't care about the horses. Can you just stop talking and just listen to what I have to say?
What are you here for? What do
See,
you
this
want?
is why I don't come into town, because you guys are just crazy. You're too much for me. I didn't want to scare anybody, but usually I hang out in the forest there outside of town, and I heard 2 goblins that came near me. I hid so they didn't know that I was there, me and my little friend Pip, and we heard them. They're coming back, and they're going to attack the town tonight.
Are
And
you
I had
sure
to
you
come
didn't?
in and warn you guys.
Okay, you're 100% sure.
Listen, don't question me. I'm a very intelligent woman. I just came in to warn you guys.
Understood. Well, we've been under attack many times over the last few years, and it seems as though the threat is increasing week by week. Their numbers are mounting, and I've been expecting something like this.
Well, at least I can help with an advantage for you.
He thanks you for your warning. He tells you to stay safe. He says they're dangerous. They're not to be trifled with. So if you're not ready to put down your life defending, he says, go back into the forest and hide somewhere. And as soon as he says hide somewhere, you're noticing it's getting darker outside. The snow is really heavy. The visibility in terms of like how far you can see ahead is not good. And you hear a horn. And you hear people start freaking out. And he's like, they're already here. Deverin immediately grabs his sword, runs to the front, tells the stables to close up, lock up, latch everything up, and get ready for a fight. And he tells you either go back to the forest or find somewhere safe in town. If you go next door to the Rusty Dragon, that might be a good place to lock in.
Okay, I'm going to go there because it's definitely going to be too dangerous to try to go back in the forest.
As soon as you step out the door, you're already hearing the clanking of guards at the bridge from around the corner, starting like cling, cling, cling. You're hearing like rocks and stones hitting off of shields, as well as swords and metallic weapons dinging together That's as soon as you walk out the door. Now, we will we'll sort of pause there. You're outside of the door. You hear attacks coming. Hertz, you are hanging up around the northern area, or more northern from where we were just at. You are up the road there quite a ways near Red Dog Smithy at Undercliff Way. Kind of browsing around here. You see some store fronts. You see a blacksmith there in Red Dog Smithy out front, sort of banging on tools and forging things. And as you're doing that, you see behind you a stream of goblins rushing across the bridge. As well, you can hear noise coming from the north. And you hear guards say, "We're being raided. The goblins are here. Locked down." And you're hearing like goblin war horns in the background. You start hearing ding, ding, ding. The bells from Sandpoint Cathedral start ringing. Bong, bong, and it's not stopping. It's not the clock. It's the emergency bell. You don't know that, but you're startled by the bell, and you see goblins just rushing through. You know that your tribe doesn't really get along well with goblins. Your tribe in particular has dealt with goblins constantly coming and stealing your reserves of food and destroying your homes and your caves, and basically anywhere you guys go, goblins are always a source of trouble for you. So immediately you're not like, oh, whatever. You're like, these guys are here, and I know they're up to no good. They never are. So you're aware of sort of their reputation, because it extends to your tribe as well. And, you hear the guards yelling out, "Get to safety!" And someone runs by you and puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Get to safety, little one. It's not okay out here."
Where should I go?
They tell you, as you say, "Where should we?" Before you even say, "Where should I go?" he tells you, you'll be safe down near the Goblin Squash stables. He was like, "You'll be safest down in that area." He says that's where the Daverin Hosk is, and he is like, he's the most ferocious goblin slayer this town has ever seen. He tells you, he's so get down there and lock in as quick as you can if you don't have a home nearby. And the person who told you this kind of just keeps going and runs into a nearby building, and you hear chink close and everything close up. People are saying, "Get to your homes, get to your homes." By now, they're starting to pop up. You're starting to see goblins popping up. And people are being stabbed and cut. And, yeah.
I'm going to try and make my way down Festival Street towards...
Yeah, so you see some people. A group of people heading in the direction that you were pointed, and kind of running in that general direction. Can I get you to make a stealth check as you're running down there? There's a bit of chaos, so I'm not looking for too much. That's plenty. You manage to keep your hood up while you're going as fast as you can, running down the street, trying to escape these goblins that are just slowly moving in and encroaching on the whole area. It seems like they're just, at this point, it seems like they're just popping up out of anywhere, holes or whatever. But you do make it down to near the Goblin Squash. You're You're here. You pop out by Cog Street, which is just north of there, just north of the Goblin
Yeah.
Squash. And you pop out, and you see a plant lady, or what appears to be a lady that looks like a plant with a rose head, and she's looking around like she's trying to find somewhere. You run by it. She looks confused, almost like she needs to go somewhere to go. And this crowd starts all going in. Theric, you notice a lot of rushing around outside. After a couple of minutes of seeing people running by, you're seeing people screaming now. People are starting to rush into the Rusty Dragon, and you're hearing people saying there's goblins raiding the town. Bething comes out. Bethina comes out from behind the counter and says, "All right, everybody, down into the underground." And she pulls up she whips aside like a rug, and then you see a large hatch in the floor. And let's see here. I'm just going to share this with you for the sake of getting you on here. I'm going to get everybody into the tracker. We need a party sheet. We need a tracker. We need all the things because it's a new game. All right, let's see here. The party sheet. And it's appearing as though you may now be a party. Or starting to potentially be one. And who is here? So, Theric is inside, resting. Chilling, and you're looking out the window here in the front. We'll call this the window. And I will share the map in a second. There's that. Share the map. There's a map. Everybody see themselves on the map there?
The door, yeah.
Yep. We are.
Here. Okay. So yes, Theric, you see a bunch of people outside rushing in. You stand up and try to basically figure out what the heck's going on. You hear people running in saying, goblins are coming, right? And that's when Bethina tears back this carpet on the floor. We're going to call this a tavern for the time being. It's not a tavern, but it's close enough. It's comfy. This carpet, or this rug, gets ripped back and exposes a large hatch in the floor. The owner comes down from upstairs and is like, "We have a full-blown attack," and starts basically telling everybody down to the basement. Bethina, get down there, keep everybody down there, don't let them out until you get the okay from them. And this is a Miko Kaijitsu who's saying this, saying, okay, do this. Yes. So, what is it that you're going to do from this point, Theric?
Before I join them or anything like that, I'm gonna pound on the window to get anyone's attention that's inside and wave them inside.
Yeah, you see a small hooded figure and a what appears to be a plant-like humanoid, kind of outside looking around as everybody rushes past.
I'm gonna wave them in.
Can I get a perception check from Hertz and Rosa? You both see a large half-orc yelling to you, come this way, get in here.
I'm gonna run in as quick as I
Beckoning
can.
you, yeah, calling you in. All right, you can go ahead and you guys can move your tokens. I think token lock might be on. I'll approve whatever movements are requested. And I got to figure out a way that I can share the map on
Is there a way to open the door?
Yeah, you just click on the door.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. And you open the door and head in. And Bethana is calling everybody down into the cellar. Say, lock the door behind you. Get into the cellar now, and summons everybody down into the cellar. Second here.
Just a reminder, I need to be done by 5.
Okay, no problem. And we'll go down here, and you tracker. Where did she go? Oops.
Hmm.
Okay. And you guys can see where you're at now?
Just see me.
You're down there. Some of you can't see.
Oh.
It looks like Hertz is the only one who can see down here. It's very dark. You're hearing people, and you can only just barely see the light up above through the cracks in the hatch. At which point you see that blacken over, and you're assuming that the rug was put back over it. You hear a bit of silence upstairs, a bit of creaking and walking, but it is dark down here. And someone.
And I light up.
You can get someone here lights a torch, actually. One of the people who are down below lights a torch. Just give me a second here. I will get you that. Effects. Here we go. A torch. And it lights up the immediate area around you within about 10 or 20 feet. You see people here cuddling, children, adults, elderly, people who generally aren't going to be fighting, is what you're seeing a lot of down here. You see a few things nearby. You see some crates. It looks like some storage, just general storage. You see like a dagger. You see a couple of daggers, a small short sword. A bedroll or two. Some kegs of the local brew, and so on. That's the kind of things that you're seeing down here. Just general storage. Probably some old equipment. From Amiku's adventuring days, old booze storage, and stuff like that. And to the north of you, it just kind of fades into darkness. And they tell you we'll be fine down here. We'll be fine. We'll just have to wait until they clear up above. We've got great guards who have dealt with this before, and the people who are down here are just kind of comforting each other and all explaining that everything's going to be okay. And that we just need to wait this out. So you spend some time down here. Just give me a moment here. It's just going to be an open roll here. See that. And you notice a child. Actually, give me a perception check, everybody. The three of you notice a child pointing at Hertz and whispering something to a nearby elder. And the elder points at you, Hertz, and says, "You, take down that hood now!"
Okay.
And as you take down their hood, they see green and they immediately start, "He's one of them!" And everybody starts freaking out and going crazy.
Don't we all have green skin? I'm confused.
Because I'm also
But
green. I would
but
be
he's,
So am I.
he's little, and they're pointing at him, and they're not paying any
Okay.
attention to you guys.
I mean, can we look at him and recognize that he's not a goblin?
Yes, you can. You immediately recognize that he's not a goblin. There's no sort of check required for this. You look at him after he takes down his hood, and you're like, "What?" And you're like, "What the hell would you be doing down here with us?" This
Right,
person,
you came in
this
with
person
me.
ran with me,
Safety. Exactly.
right? And this clearly isn't a goblin. You know what a goblin looks like, and this isn't one of them.
So the town is just full of idiots? We're
They're
just
full of
freaking
they're
out?
full of terrified people who have been attacked
Yeah.
one too many times.
Jumping to assumption.
Right. Yeah. If
Put my hands up and say, no, me hurts.
okay, why don't you give me a diplomacy check? He wants to hurt us! They all scream. Would anybody else like to interject?
I mean, I'd like to say that he's not a goblin. Just look at
All
him.
right. I'll get
He's not a
a
goblin.
I'll get a diplomacy check as well.
Oh.
And as you're screaming this, and they all start panicking and moving farther back in the darkness, and you see the light going with them, and it's getting dark here. And they're backing away from you guys, almost thinking like you're together because you're sitting there like siding with him. Rosa hasn't said anything. Would Rosa like to speak up?
I mean, are they going to be able to hear me?
If
am I gonna yell loud enough?
If you speak up, yeah, they're about 20 feet away at this point, so they can hear you if you speak.
Ooh.
All right, why don't you tell me exactly how you get their attention and what you tell them?
I have access to my spells, right?
Not exactly, no. So in the way
Okay.
I mentioned I wanted to treat this was almost
Yes.
like you're not really a level 1, you're a level 0.
Okay, so can I do like almost... I'm learning my spells, but I haven't actually used them yet.
Yes,
So,
you
would you
wouldn't
let
be
me
able
do
to-
something like...
Sorry,
Hold
go ahead.
on. So, Needle Darts is a spell that I'm going to use for level 1, where I literally thorns come out of my hands and then I throw them at people. Can
Okay.
I just can I make one thorn come out just to try to get their attention?
Sure. Yeah. Why don't you
Okay,
describe
just
to
one
me
thorn.
what happens? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm obviously a timid, I'm in the forest all the time, so I'm gonna freak out and try really hard concentrating on my leaf hand and make the thorn come out and be just you guys are panicking and freaking out, this guy literally rushed me to safety together and you guys are gonna turn on him, I'm be this is why I hate coming into town, and just literally almost having a meltdown, screaming at the top of my lungs.
Okay. All right. So yeah,
Them out of there.
your voice starts echoing down the hall, and everybody, the people, the light stops fading and stops getting farther away, and then you kind of see faces start to turn around in the light. So you see just faces appear as they turn around, and start to hear what you have to say. And they come back and they're like, "Oh, so you're not one of them." And they take the time to come back instead of just freaking out. And you kind of slowly meet them. You guys walk forward a little bit to say, "Hey, it's all good." And then you come and meet down that hall there. At which point they realize, we're all in this together now. We're all victims here, right? We need to stay quiet. And upstairs you start hearing bang, boom, boom, boom. And you hear a crashing from up at the top of like the ladder that you came down. And then you hear a bunch of footsteps in the creaking floor up top. And dust is kind of coming down from the floor as these things get trampled over. And you hear people fighting. And you hear goblins screaming, what you assume is goblins. They've been raiding the town, so it must be them. "Aya! Burn! Burn! Kill them! Kill them! Get the food! Get the food!" And you're hearing fighting up above, trampling, all that sort of thing. As you start to hear that, the people in the tunnel here start to back off more away from the hatch. As everybody seems to do, backing off more and more and more, kind of down this darkened hallway, which at a point you get further down and it's just essentially black in each direction. You can see within a little while from the light from the torch, but other than that you can't see anything. And I will get perception checks from the three of you, please. You're hearing a lot of panic breathing, low chatter amongst people who are still here. Hertz and Rosa, you hear footsteps coming from the opposite direction of the hatch that you came down. And you hear, and then after a second or two, it's starting to get closer from down into the dark. And then you turn around, you hear snarling and heavy breathing, panting. And you turn around and you see some goblins here. You can't make out how many. And then behind them, slowly emerging into the dim light that you are able to see, is what appears to be a goblin dog. That's where we'll end our session 0. We'll pick up next time at our first official session, and we'll see how things go.
You're gonna kill us immediately.
I know, right?
We don't even have our skills yet. We can't fight. We can't do anything. He's killing us immediately.
Did the dog get past all the other people that went down there?
No. So it's you in with this, and you're between the hatch that you came down the ladder, and you're in the hall. The only way essentially out from this point is back out and up the ladder.
I'm just all the other people that went further into the tunnel than us. Is it?
They came back and met up with you after Rosa told them, like, listen, it's all good. It was a great roll. It was a perfect roll, crit, a nat 20, and had zero problem quickly being like, this is not a goblin. You would already be dead if it were.
Okay,
focus on what's important. Yeah, they're sort of, they came back around and they're like, okay, this isn't a goblin, and that sort of thing.
Please don't kill us yet.
I know, right?
Yeah, so
especially because we actually ran and didn't try to stay and fight.
That's where we that's where we end the session with Hertz, Rosa, Nocthorn, and Theric essentially being faced with what appears to be a small group of goblins who have found this as an entry point into the town. It appears to you that there is no hole that they have not attempted to try and find their way into, and given their size, it's no surprise to any of you that they've managed to make their way down here as well. And that's where we'll end. So you're all basically in the bottom of the Rusty Dragon, underneath the floor in an underground cavern, and trying to wait out this goblin raid when you are faced with a direct threat from said goblin raid itself in the basement.
Boy,
And
am I glad I've got dark vision.
what's that?
And boy, am I glad I've got dark vision.
Yeah, exactly. So you would have seen some of them down the hall, kind of thing, before the torchlight got there, because your vision extends it doesn't have to be within the torchlight to be able to see it. So yeah, you're still not sure how many of them there are, but what you are sure of is that there is a goblin threat down here, and something's going to have to be done, or it's going to be a dark day in Sandpoint's history. So what's supposed to be a good, joyous, happy time in the Brightstar Festival. So thank you all for being here, getting started, getting the characters together, and we'll see everybody next session.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dan, for hosting.